So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and as always, thanks for watching. This week we're going to be driving in style with the Lexus RX350 SUV. This is the upgraded F Sport version, which cost a few bucks more, of course. The price tag starts around $49,000. We had a lot of options, which brought us to this price. $1,000 extra for this moonroof, and I don't understand why in expensive cars they call it a moonroof, but in cheap cars it's called a sunroof. I guess poor people spend all their time in the sun and rich people spend all their time out in the moon. I don't know. Next are $3,200 for the navigation system and the 15-speaker stereo unit. That's a big screen there. We'll look at that in a minute. $148 for this cargo mat. That's a lot of money to spend for a piece of carpeting. I'd like it better if I had a cargo net. Doesn't seem we got one. Well, at least we get a real spare tire. And a whopping $1,615 for these LED headlights. Wow. And like all of my videos, the first thing we do is take the vehicle out and test the headlights, so we'll just do that right now and see if we're getting our money's worth here. I think it's dark enough, so let's see how these headlights perform and see if we're getting our $1,615 worth. Here we have the lights on a building 100 feet away. This is the high beam setting, plenty of light. Go to the low beam. It's still bright, but riding pretty close to the ground, a bit closer than I would like. Here we have the high beams on a building 300 feet away with a chain link fence in between. As you can see, plenty of light, no issues. Go to the low beam. Just barely reaches out. Adequate for city driving, but out in the country, you want the more powerful high beams. There is one feature I like. When you turn the steering wheel, you get cornering lights, lighting up everything on the side. Comes in handy when driving on tight mountain roads or in tight parking lots. For what it's worth, you do get a wide spread on these headlights. Left and right, you can see everything on both sides. If you do a lot of driving in the dark, you'll probably like these headlights. Whether they're worth an extra $1,615, well, you'll have to make that choice. Under the hood is a proven V6 engine of 3.5 liters that's been used in the Lexus and Toyota line for a long time, putting out just a bit under 300 horsepower. Hooked to an 8-speed automatic transmission. If you like to shift for yourself, there are paddle shifters on the steering wheel where they belong, not on the steering column like the Italians do where they do not belong. Fuel economy is rated at 20 mpg in the city, 27 on the highway with a 23 overall average. That applies to the two-wheel drive version, which is actually front-wheel drive as we see here. All-wheel drive is an option, which we did not get. Okay, let's look at the cabin. The rear seating has room for 2 full-size adults. No, the orange sweater doesn't come standard with the car. And the seats do fold down for more storage. The glove box is large enough, but only if you take out that thick owner's manual. As you can see, this is very, very thick. It'd take you a couple years to read this. There is a compartment next to the spare tire. Perfect place to put the manual. Out of sight, out of mind. On the console, you have a button for Eco mode, Normal mode, and for those who like to drive quickly, the Sport mode. There's also a control stick, which allows you to scroll all over the place: media, phone, radio, destination, climate, setup. Works pretty well. And again, as a bonus, we get an extra large screen. No complaints here. And you get a good old-fashioned clock. I've noticed how clocks in Toyotas and Lexuses always seem to work, compared to other vehicles where they die when the warranty goes out. There's a very nice gauge cluster. It changes when you go from the eco mode to the sport mode. There's a nice storage console between the seats. Overall, Lexus did a pretty good job on the interior. I couldn't find anything to complain about. And I almost forgot, the auto-dimming mirror can be turned off by pressing this button, so when you're driving at night, you can actually see in the mirror. If only all manufacturers could do that. I put about 270 miles on this vehicle, most of it heavy city commuting. And as you can see, 19.6 mpg. This is a smooth riding vehicle, but I think we need to do some speed bump tests to prove that. So here we go. Here comes a bump number 1. Heard a lot of racket, but didn't feel it. Here comes another one. Pretty smooth. I'm told this does 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, but I had lost my stopwatch, so just trust me when I tell you this is quick. Nice brakes, by the way. And all those clunking noises you hear, it's not the car. I have a bunch of junk in the back seat that's flying around. Otherwise, it would be very, very quiet in here. For daily commuting, this is a very comfortable car to drive. You won't have very many complaints. The power steering is a bit lighter than I would like, but you'll get used to it. While this Lexus isn't inexpensive, it's really no more money than other competitors in this class, such as this Acura RDX, or this BMW X5, or this Lincoln MKX, the Volvo XC60. I find it interesting that all of the luxury SUVs in this class don't have names. They just have letters and numbers. Go figure. Guess they ran out of names, I don't know. One of the differences between this Lexus and the other competitors I just listed is reliability. You drive a Lexus and they're running long, long after the warranty expires, which is one of the reasons people buy them in the first place. So if you're shopping for a smooth, reliable luxury SUV, this is certainly worth a look. If you'd like to see a video on some European SUVs, we have a couple coming up, a nice BMW and an Alfa Romeo. And here are the links for those right now.